So, Apple Arcade launched September 2019, and 1 year on, it feels like nobody is talking about it. But the service is awesome, and I thought I'd do a video just kind of recapping what I think about Apple Arcade, why I enjoy it so much, and some of the best games. So, I've had it for the whole 12-month period. I had the first month free, so I've spent £55 in the last year, and I think it's totally worth it. I think it's a brilliant service. I guess first and most importantly, let's talk about the games. The selection of games on Apple Arcade is awesome. There are over 130 games available, and there's a big range of titles. You've got 3D action games like Oceanhorn 2 or Samurai Jack. You've got these kind of really unique, stylish indie experiences like Sayonara Wild Hearts or The Last Campfire. You've got 2D Metroidvanias like Shantae. You've got racing games like Sonic Racing. There's so much choice. There's just so many different games out there. And some really, like I said, unique experiences, the kinds of games that I haven't played on anything else, and that really just work on a phone or touchscreen better than they would on a console. Like something like Grindstone, just really fun, really easy to pick up and play game, really addictive as well. Or something like Bleak Sword, where it takes that almost kind of Dark Souls experience of the console and actually maps it to two-finger touchscreen, which in a really clever way, and it's just awesome to play. I think there's probably not a lot there if you're looking for that kind of AAA first-person shooter kind of game, but if you're interested in indie games, if you enjoy those kind of indie experiences, then I think Apple Arcade is actually really, really good. I know a common complaint with mobile games is the use of a touchscreen, and you can use a controller with most of the Apple Arcade games, most of them. I haven't tried to use it with all of them, to be fair. But something like I said, Grindstone actually works better on a touchscreen. But, it's easy to just hook up your PS4 controller over Bluetooth and then just play these games. So something like I said, Oceanhorn 2, I played that with a controller. So it was just like playing on a kind of console experience, which was great. I thought that was a, really fun way to play, and just really easy just to have your controller around at home and then just be able to pick up and play these games. A big deal in all this is price, of course. So it's £5 a month. I've paid £55 in the last year. And so it's kind of interesting to compare it to the Switch's store to see how some of these games that have now come over to console or to Switch, how they compare in terms of prices. So I looked at some of the games, and so things like The Last Campfire is on Switch as well, it's $13.50. Samurai Jack is £36, Neocab is £18, Sayonara Wild Hearts is £11, Shantae is £25, Stranded Sails is £20, Yaga, I think that was the name of the game, was £22, and then there's a whole bunch of games like, even What the Golf is £18, and there's a whole bunch of games that are around the £13 mark. I looked at just 10 games, and they came to over £200, which is around 4 years worth of playing Apple Arcade. It's just a really good deal in terms of price. I know that you're not owning these games digitally if you're having Apple Arcade, if you're subscribed to it, but it's a good way just to play these games, enjoy them, and then, if you do want to buy them physically, if they come out physically later, like with Sayonara Wild Hearts or Samurai Jack, then, at least you played it and you can grab it. But it's just a great way to play these games. And I think I kind of compare it to the Switch more than my PS4, because one, my phone is portable, so it kind of feels like it's more comparable to the Switch. But also in terms of there's no trophies on the Switch, so it doesn't feel like playing on Apple Arcade or Switch. Either of those doesn't really make a difference to me because they're kind of the same thing, but it's just easier to have my phone with me all the time. And so sometimes I can just take my controller with me and my phone, and then that's almost kind of a smaller thing to carry than having to carry around my Switch. A lot of games are coming to the Switch or to PS4 from Apple Arcade, like Grindstone is coming soon, Oceanhorn 2 is coming soon. These games started off in Apple Arcade and they just worked really well, and now are coming over to console. So it's almost like a proving ground. It's like a great place to try some of these indie experiences that they come there first and then make it to console. But you can play them before other people on console get to play them. When I compare it to actually playing on my Switch, obviously, you need to have a controller to play some of these games. Things like Exit the Gungeon, you can't play that on a touchscreen. It just doesn't make sense. So I bought that on my Switch as well, just because I really loved that game. So I had it on Apple Arcade, loved it, bought it on the Switch just because it was on sale and I just loved it. And I actually found that on my phone, the load times were faster than they were on a Switch. Now, I haven't played every Apple Arcade game that's gone over to Switch. In fact, that's the only one. But I was kind of impressed by that. I don't know if that's the case for other games, but definitely for Exit the Gungeon, the load times were actually faster on my phone. Now, there are disadvantages to to Apple Arcade. I think, firstly, you do need a controller for a lot of these games. You can play them. You can play Oceanhorn 2 or Samurai Jack without a controller, but it's not a great experience. You do want to have a controller, so you need to either carry one around or you'll have to wait till you're at home to play them properly. I think another disadvantage is really that the games feel disposable. So there have been a lot of games that I've tried that I've tried once and thought, nah, it's not for me, and just deleted it straight away. I think the fact that you're subscribed to this service, that you've got so many games available, it just makes me feel like, actually, I don't need to waste my time on some games. I'll just not even play them. Which is a little bit strange. When I buy a game, I'll normally give it a good try for a few hours just because I've spent the money. But if I haven't spent the money here, I'll just kind of be very dismissive of games, which I do feel a little bit bad about, because obviously there have been developers and people working behind it, but there were just some games that just didn't click with me and I just immediately stopped playing. So, it does make me feel like games are a bit more disposable on Apple Arcade compared to if I'd bought them properly. But overall, I do think it's a great service. Loads of great games. Definitely, I would be surprised if any gaming fan couldn't find at least a few dozen games that they enjoyed out of the games available. There are so many great games there. And so I definitely recommend it. If you haven't tried the free month, give it a try. There's so many games there. It's a great service. I think it doesn't get appreciated enough, given the quality of the games. So, in terms of my favorite games on the service, I did a video last year, I think after about a month or two of Apple Arcade being around, talking about my 10 favorite games. I think one game that's sort of still on the top of my list, even from last year and even now, I went back and played it again a few days ago, is Bleak Sword. Bleak Sword is this really cool, really stylish, kind of Dark Souls type game that uses the touchscreen in a really clever way to control the character. It's just awesome, really, really clever, really simplistic sort of graphics, but the atmosphere and the sound effects are just great. So I really recommend that. I also recommend The Last Campfire, which came out recently. It's by Hello Games, the guys who did No Man's Sky, and it's a really kind of it reminds me of Journey, but with more puzzles in it. It's just a really kind of calm, nice experience. It does get a bit tougher later on. The puzzles do get quite tricky, but I've been really enjoying it. What the Golf is also really good, and Grindstone. These are two really kind of simple, quick games to pick up and play, and just fun. And they work really well on the touchscreen. They probably are better on the touchscreen than I'd expect them to be on the physical controls. Also, Oceanhorn 2, great game. Rayman Mini, Neversong, Speed Demons. There's a lot of games there. I could probably make more videos about Apple Arcade, but I am really more focused on the Vita. But I do think it's a great service, guys. So I do recommend you giving it a go. So, guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Apple Arcade. Have you played it? Do you enjoy it? Leave a comment and let me know, and thank you for watching.